Hello everybody, it's Dana Sullivan, the Stampin' Chick, here with another Make It Monday! Oh, you have to turn the sound off. Sorry everyone, I had to laugh because Mr. Stampin' Chick is over here laughing at me in my introduction. How are you today, my friends? I hope you had a fantastic weekend. Thank you all so much for joining me, and Mr. Sullivan is thankfully letting me borrow his phone so that I can maybe actually see comments today. So that's exciting. All right, guys, how are you? This weekend was insanely busy for me because we had our Stampin' Chicks team retreat Friday night through yesterday afternoon, and it was action-packed, lots of fun, lots of work, lots of amazing projects, and a little bit tired after that. So if I seem a little off today, it's because I'm still recovering from all the absolute fun stuff that we did. All right, guys, today's project is an absolutely gorgeous card. This is one that I did for our team shoebox swap for Friday night. So my girls who were at the retreat have already seen this project, but I wanted to share it with you and make it with you this evening. And I'm going to be sharing some pictures throughout the week of different projects that we made over the weekend, but if it's projects that we made over the weekend for the retreat, I'm not going to give you the measurements and instructions because, you know, those were exclusive to the team, but I can still show you the projects, and if you happen to case them from the pictures, well, that's fine too. All right, guys, what we're going to need for today's project is a little bit of annual catalog and a little bit of the new celebration brochure, which I'm so excited about. And actually, I'm really glad for the celebration brochure because had it not been for that, I would never have noticed the Shaded Summer stamp set. This is an absolutely beautiful stamp set. And if you don't have it, maybe you need to consider getting it because, I mean, look at this card. It's gorgeous, right? The sentiments are absolutely stunning. The images are beautiful, and I just love it. It's so pretty. And then right now with a, is it $100 purchase? Let me take a look and see here. I've got it laid out. So here is the stamp set, Shaded Summer, and it's $23. And then the dies are Summer Shadows dies that are free with a $100 purchase. So you can get all those beautiful dies for free with qualifying purchase, and you know, you're going to find a lot of good stuff in the catalog. Get this stamp set so that it coordinates, look through the holiday catalog, find all sorts of good stuff, and you'll qualify for these gorgeous dies that coordinate with the stamp set. So pretty. Now, as you can see, there are a lot of die cuts here or dies here that don't line up specifically with the stamp set, so you could certainly use those items without the stamps, but I always love getting the coordinating stamps and dies or stamps and punch, so I always end up finding a lot of fabulous ways to use it, so it's great. I see some folks are coming in. Hello. Thank you all so much for being here. I see Miss Sharon and Miss Donna are saying hi. Hello, ladies. How are you today? I hope you guys are doing well. All right. What you're going to need for tonight's project are the stamp and die sets. you're going to need soft succulent ink pad, a Memento ink pad, and then the paper supplies as follows. Okay, you need a piece of 8.5 by 5.5 soft succulent cardstock scored at 4 1/4, and then of course we'll burnish that. And this card is a landscape style card, so it's going to open this way. You'll need a piece 5 1/4 by 4-inch piece of basic white cardstock. This is going to be the inside of our card. So because it's a not a white or vanilla layer, I like to have white or vanilla layered inside. So we're going to be using that. Hi, Miss Sally. How are you? Thank you for joining me. Okay, and then I have a piece of this beautiful designer series paper. It's got a really pretty typewritten font on it, and then it's got this nice harvest color on the back. This is from the Harvest Meadow DSP, and it's 5 1/4 by 4 inches also. And actually, now that I'm saying that, let me double check. Yeah, 5 1/4 by 4. Yes, 5 1/4 by 4. Okay. I could have just lined it up and that would have been fine. Okay, that's going to go right here on the front. And so we have our inside layer and then our front layer. And then these two, I know I don't remember off the top of my head. This white layer is 4 3/4 by 3 inches. And then this DSP actually comes from the Pattern Party Host Designer Series paper. This one is really cool because on one side it's got all of these beautiful bright colors, and on the other side it's got a lot of black and white colors, or a lot of shades of black and white, I should say. This one is 4 5/8 by 2 7/8, so it's going to layer nicely. Excuse me, it's going to layer nicely right on top of that white layer. And then this time I'm doing something that I really don't ever do. Typically when I'm doing a project, I use just that product, the Stampin' die bundle or the Stamps and Punch or whatever. Maybe I bring in the layering circles or stitched rectangles, but normally I stick with a product bundle or collection. I don't generally bounce around and bring in all sorts of different things, but this time I brought in artistically inked for that beautiful leaf sprig. I think it's just gorgeous. Hi, Miss Elaine. How are you? And then I'm bringing in the encircled in friendship, those dies that have the beautiful doilies, and doing 2 layers here, the white forefront and then the soft succulent background. And then that one's going to go on here. So I've brought those in. And then I've also die cut the background and detailed layers from the flowers that come in the Summer Shadows dies. So these ones actually come with this Stampin' and die set. And then I have a scrap of basic white cardstock here that measures 3 inches by 3/4. Yeah, 3/4. And this is going to be for the sentiment here. And then I'm also going to be using some of those rhinestone basic jewels to give it just a little bling bling, because, you know, it needs a little bling bling. And then, of course, my A2 size medium basic white envelope, which we'll, of course, be decorating because no naked insides and no naked envelopes, right? Okay. Let's set this stuff aside, and I've already got my stamps out and ready. So the first thing I want to do is stamp the sentiment on this strip. So I'm going to use the May the Good You Do Come Back to You. I love the sentiments in this set. They're just beautiful. Above and Beyond, You Go There a Lot. Love You Friend. We'll be using that one for the inside. happy birthday. Some friendships are just meant to be. Isn't that so sweet? Hello, you, and then thank you. So, so, so cute. All right. Memento Black Ink. May the good you do come back to you. That's the one we're going to do. And we're going to stamp this right about in the center because we want this side to tuck behind our die cuts a little bit, and then we want this side to be able to dovetail the end. Okay, so we're going to stamp it right about in the middle. And remember, as always, tap, 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 not smush, smush, smush. See if I can get this to line up a little bit here. I went to step down and I have a little craft room buddy now. You know, Gunner's always been my craft room buddy, but now Apollo, our new puppy, likes to be a craft room buddy too. And unlike Gunner, who likes to lay behind me so that I can trip over him, Apollo is just very blatant and likes to lay directly under my feet. So, you know, it's a little interesting trying to maneuver around here. All right, we'll get our stamping all done and out of the way. We're going to stamp Love You Friend and that little flower there. So let me get the black ink and Love You Friend stamp. Tap, tap, tap. See if I can do this without stepping on dog. There we go. All right, not too shabby. All right. Now, because I'm going to stamp this off the edge a little bit, I want to bring a scrap piece of paper down because I'm going to stamp my little flower cluster off here, and I really don't want to get ink on my pierce mat. So I'm using the soft succulent ink. And we'll just put it kind of at a little bit of an angle here. I just want to make sure that I'm getting the majority of the flowers in there. There we go. That's nice. And then while we have that stamp inked, we'll go ahead and ink our envelope on the front and the flap. So let me set those out of the way for just a second. Okay, and we're going to do the same thing here with this one. And then just a little bit on the flap. Okay. There we go. Alright, all of our stamping is done now. Easy peasy. Let's bring in the card base. Let's bring in that front layer. I've got my Stampin' seal here ready to go. Well, I think it's ready to go. Let me get it ready to glue. There we go. Make sure that's upright. Now this typeset actually does have an upright to it. If you look at it, you'll be able to read at least a couple of the words in there so that you can tell which way is upright and which way isn't. Put that down. Now I'm going to layer these two pieces together. I've got that beautiful black polka dot from the Pattern Party DSP, and then that basic white layer. Okay, and then I'm going to put this in at an angle. And I'm just attaching it directly to the card base at this point. I'm going to be putting some dimension on here, so for as much as I can, I want to put it directly onto the card because, as you remember, I'm sure, I like to say no more than 2 layers of dimension on the front of a card that you intend on mailing out, right? That way it just keeps it within the 1/4 inch thickness for the meters for the post office so that they like us a lot better and our cards get to their recipients in one piece, right? Okay, Now I'm going to go ahead and glue that inside panel to the inside, just because I want to get it out of the way and have my little die cut pieces here. I'm going to be doing some detailed gluing on the die cut pieces, so I'm just going to get this bigger panel out of the way. It's an easy out. Alright, so now what we need to do is we need to adhere this layer to this layer so that it's stacked together. We need to attach these two layers together and these two layers together. And then we need to attach the leaf sprig to the front of our card. And I'm going to do that first just because it makes it look so pretty. Alright, now, yes, you probably should get your silicone mat and your sponge and do the glue and dab it on, but you know, I don't do that because I'm kind of a lazy stamper and I don't want to clean my silicone mat. So I'm going to risk it and just put it on myself directly. If you're really light-handed with your glue, then you can do that. If you're heavy-handed with your glue, then I highly recommend you save yourself the frustration and go ahead and get your silicone mat out. Alright, I don't have to glue every single stitch of this die cut. I'm gluing up the stem and I'm gluing the tips of the leaves, okay? That's really all I have to do because I just want it to be tacked down. I don't care if the leaves lift up, as you can see here, they do. I don't mind that at all. I just want the stem pretty much to lay down. So that's my big concern, is making sure that it's on. Alright? And then I'm making it on here so that the stem comes up just a little so that it gets covered by the doily. And that all of the stem is inside the perimeters of my card. Alright? That's very, very important. Okay. Let's go ahead and do basically the same thing with our doily. We're just going to kind of go around the outside, tacking up around the top edges. And then I'm going to go around the inside so that way it stays together pretty well. Okay? I'm being careful not to push too hard or not to squeeze too hard on my glue bottle. There we go. And then just running around the edges of the bottom so that it's glued on the top and the inside. Alright, now let me line this up. Points and points, rounds and rounds. There we go. And the wonderful thing about the multi-purpose liquid glue is that it gives you at least a hot second to line things up a little bit. And if it's not perfectly aligned, it's a-okay. You know, if somebody pays that close of attention, well, that's what I say. Alright, let me take our flowers now, and we're going to layer them together too. Now with this one's going to be really, really easy because I'm just putting a strip of the liquid glue around the inside. I'm not worrying about the petals because I'm actually going to fluff the petals up a little bit. Okay, so I want to just line up my edges though, best I can. Okay, there's that one. And then the same thing with this one. Now this one's a little bit trickier up around the top because it's more of a filigree look, you know, with the edges of the die cut here. But I'm just going to be careful and be really light-handed with my glue. And then line up the edges. Whoop. There we go. Perfect. Okay, let's get this thing assembled, shall we? Alright, So we have our card base, we've got our layer, we have our leaves, absolutely beautiful. Let's go ahead and put some dimension behind our doily here. These are so pretty, by the way. I just love them. Alright, and I'm using little ones because, well, that's what I've got right here at my workstation. It's not necessarily an indication that I think you should use little ones. Just use what you have. If you have the trim around the edge of the dimensionals, use that. Perfectly fine. So I'd like to know how many of you are team soft succulent as far as favorite new ink color goes. I have to admit that I had a little trouble deciding, and maybe sometimes I still do, but I think I gravitate more towards the soft succulent. So I think that that's one of my, at least one of top 2. I mean, there's only 5, so, you know, it's at least my top 5. What do you think? What's your favorite new ink color? Make a comment down below and let me know what your favorite new ink color is. And I'd love to see how we rank in things now. I know that I asked you guys that when the ink colors first came out, but we hadn't had a chance to play with them yet, so that doesn't count, does it? I think that it makes all the difference in the world once you've actually had a chance to play with them a bit, right? Okay, we've got the doily attached with dimensionals, so that is layer number 1, right? Now we're going to put some dimensionals on the left edge of our tag and about the center, because we're going to put it at an angle here. So we're going to put that on some dimension. And again, I'm using what I have here, so I'm using the little ones. Maybe some folks will comment and let me know about their favorite ink colors. I'd love to hear. There we go. And then we'll put this kind of at an angle. Now when I was designing this, I went back and forth because on one hand, I want to line up straight with the card itself, right? And then on the other hand, I want to line up straight with the card that's at an angle. And since the black is more in your face than the soft succulent, I decided to go with that. So I'm going to line it up here just, I mean, it doesn't even really have to be exactly, but right about where the word good is over the filigree edge of our doily. That's where I've put it. Okay, and then I'm going to put this flower right here on the edge, and I'm going to actually glue this side to the label, but I'll put a dimensional on this side to keep it even, right? So we're actually not adding another layer. This layer is going to be even with this layer, okay? So I'm going to put a little bit of liquid glue just right here. Oh, Sharon says she can't decide. And Sally says she loves all the new ink colors. Soft succulent is one of the most versatile. Yes, you're absolutely right. Absolutely right. I love it. Okay, and now I'm putting the dimensionals on the one side, but the other side is going to be just glued directly to the label. Okay, so do that. Yeah, Sally, I completely agree with you. You can mix the soft succulent with so many different colors and different feels, right? Depending on what you do with it. I bet we'll see it a lot at Christmas time too, with evening evergreen and soft succulent. That'll make a really nice Christmas colors. Okay, and now I'm gonna put dimensionals right in the middle of this flower, because it's also going to be at the same level as the other. There we go. I always think it's so incredible that even as a card looks so detailed, that when you just break it down to the layers and step by step, you know, it's really not so much, but it looks amazing. And I'm in love with all the layers on this, aren't you? Now you can see right off the bat, as beautiful as this card is, that bling really made the difference, didn't it? It just lit it up like the 4th of July. So, I've got my rhinestones here. And I'm going to take your pick tool, my favorite tool in the whole thing. And I'm going to put a big one right there. I put a smaller one in that one, but I'm going to put a big one there. We'll see what that looks like. Long as it blings. Okay, there. One here. One here. And one here. There we go. Love it. Oh, Miss Sharon, I'm so glad you like it. Thank you so much. All right, that just made all the difference in the world, didn't it? Bling, bling, bling. Love it. All right, there you go, folks. Beautiful card. So pretty. There's its matching envelope. I just love it. Remember that celebration is still going on until the 30th of September. And the celebration items are only available while supplies last, though. I think I said it before, that this cycle of celebration, so all of the things that are in this brochure that are for free are only available while supplies last. So they're not going to go on back order. You know, those adorable little penguin paper, or the really sparkly, bedazzling one, or the sweet Christmas one, they're not going to go on back order. Once they're gone, they're gone. So if you haven't placed your order yet for those things that you really like, make sure that you go get your order placed and get those celebration items on your order, okay? All right, folks, thank y'all so much for watching and spending some time with me this evening. I really appreciate you guys, and hope that you enjoyed today's project. And, you know, stay tuned this week for pictures from my team retreat. I think you're going to love them. We did a lot of fun projects, and it's going to be fun to share them with you. So, all right, guys, until next time, my friends, I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful day. Bye for now.